One of the best things that ever happened to me since the pandemic was announced back in March by World Health Organization is coming to the Big Island of Hawaii for work. So I'm here today to share you some small tips on how to travel safe here. Aloha everyone to my beautiful people, and shout out to my kababayans all over the world. My name is Jo. I'm a wandering nurse practitioner because I've been wandering, traveling, working for more than a decade, and most of them are all in pediatrics, and I do a lot of medical missions. Because of the knowledge I've acquired over time, I feel that I am here to share you some tips on how to overcome your travel anxiety, especially during this pandemic. For those of you who does not know where the Big Island is, it is part of the state of Hawaii, the 50th state of the United States, located southwest. It has 8 major islands, 10 smaller ones, and 14 islets. Only 6 are actually visited the most. So starting from the northern side, Kauai, Oahu, Molokai, Lanai, Maui, and the Big Island. And that's where I am right now, which is my background. So right now during the pandemic, it's kind of scary. I'm not wearing a mask right now because nobody's around. So they have like their own quarantine procedures. So I highly recommend calling the Department of Public Health. Look at their website prior to booking a flight, and I will actually include down below the website for the Department of Public Health. I also highly recommend calling them almost every day, which I actually did until like a day before my flight, just to make sure that nothing changed, because the virus always changes, right? So I highly recommend calling 1-800-GO-HAWAII. That's the main one, 1-800-GO-HAWAII, and or also call the county or the island. And for the Big Island, it's 808-586-4400. Today, September 9, the World Health Organization and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention COVID tracker in Hawaii announced 9,933 new positive cases, which is up from 8,628 yesterday, 85 deaths from 73. And for the Big Island of Hawaii, today it's 517 new cases from 383 yesterday, with 3 deaths. So everyone is tense, and as you already know this probably, but in August, Governor Ige of Hawaii extended the quarantine up to October 31st. So that means like a 14-day quarantine. Then after that, they mentioned a 72-hour PCR swab test, which needs to be negative prior to traveling. But again, it can change, right? Because of the incubation period of the virus of about 5 to 7 days, they highly recommend doing another PCR swab test right at the airport. Most likely they will do that. So before you come to Hawaii, I have like 6 tips I want to share with you. If you follow them, you will have a good time actually in the island. It's just because not a lot of people are around. Number 1, is it really important to travel at this point, right? Number 2, unless you know for sure that the airline ticket will be fully refunded, you have to just call them just to make sure. I actually booked my flight about a week or 2 weeks prior. It's not like before the pandemic. Fares are actually up when they actually entice you to buy their tickets. Like for example, American Airlines allow you to hold airline tickets for a couple days, and Delta Airlines refund you your flight as well, like once or twice. So just check it out. I took Delta and I loved it. Number 3 is, of course, as I mentioned before, call the Department of Public Health for their procedures and laws in place about COVID-19. And then number 4, consider always a mandatory quarantine for 14 days. You can choose your own hotel where you can stay at. It has to be a part of the quarantine group or hotels where they actually have to monitor you at your room. If you break their quarantine procedures, there is a $5,000 fine and a jail time of 1 year. And 2 other things with that is that you can't stay anywhere else. Last one is that the car rental place also, they won't allow you to rent a car at all for 14 days, which makes sense, right? And then number 5 is that consider downloading the paperwork before you travel. Fill it out. They're going to provide you a QR code, and that they will scan.
Hi sir, you have a QR code.
Checking on people before you leave the airport. They'll call you every day if you're actually following their quarantine procedures. Surprisingly, actually, they don't have an app yet for tracking you, and they don't have a bracelet either. So that's how they do it. They call you and they'll just show up at your place without you even knowing it. Lastly, of course, make sure that you are symptom-free. If you have any fever, cough, runny nose, weakness, shortness of breath, consider or cancel your flight, reschedule your flight, and if you tell the airline, they will actually give you a refund. So you will be stopped at the airport because they have an automatic temperature check right at the airport, and they have military people there as well. If you've been exposed to somebody with COVID-19, please seek help. Call the nearest public health department. So I hope this will help anyone who is considering a trip to the Big Island. Stay safe, everyone. I will see you in the next vlog.